There is a script that has been handed down to us from our parents, preached by our grandparents, and reinforced by every real estate agent with a smiling face on a bus bench. It is the American dream, the ultimate marker of adulthood, and the supposed golden ticket to middle-class wealth. The script says, rent is throwing money away. You're paying your landlord's mortgage instead of your own. Buying a house is the best investment you will ever make. We internalize this doctrine until it becomes part of our identity. We feel a deep, visceral shame when we are still renting at 30, as if we have failed to launch, as if we are financially illiterate children refusing to grow up. We panic buy homes we can barely afford, stretching our debt-to-income ratios to the breaking point, convinced that we are making a smart financial decision simply because we signed a deed. But I am here to tell you, for millions of people in the modern economy, this script is a lie. The math has changed, the market has changed, and blind faith in homeownership is trapping an entire generation in a prison of illiquidity and stagnation. The uncomfortable truth is that for many of you watching this, your house is not an asset. It is a liability. It is a massive, leverage-fueled consumption purchase masquerading as an investment. My name is Sam, and I spend way too much time running the numbers the real estate industry hopes you never see. If you are someone who feels the pressure to buy, or if you are currently house poor and wondering why you don't feel rich despite owning a home, make sure you hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Today, we are going to dismantle the rent versus buy myth, piece by piece. We are going to expose the unrecoverable costs of homeownership, the money you throw away that is mathematically identical to rent. We are going to calculate the price-to-rent ratio, the single most important metric for deciding where to live. And I'm going to show you how a disciplined renter who invests the difference can often end up with a higher net worth, more freedom, and less stress than the homeowner chained to a 30-year mortgage. To understand why buying isn't always better, we have to redefine what throwing money away actually means. When you rent, you pay a monthly fee for a roof over your head. That money is gone. This is clear. But when you buy a house, you are told that your monthly payment is savings or equity. This is false, especially in the early years. A massive portion of your monthly housing cost as an owner is also thrown away. It is money that never comes back to you, money that builds zero equity. We call these the unrecoverable costs, and they are silent wealth killers. First, the cost of capital, primarily mortgage interest. In the first few years of a 30-year mortgage, nearly 70 to 80% of your monthly payment goes straight to the bank as interest. You aren't paying yourself, you are renting money from the bank. If you look at an amortization schedule, it is terrifying. You might pay $3,000 a month, and only $400 of that is actually reducing your debt. The rest is vapor. Second, property taxes, a perpetual rent you pay to the government for the privilege of staying on your own land. In high-tax states, this alone can equal a modest rent payment. Third, maintenance. The rule of thumb says this will cost you 1 to 2% of the home's value every single year. Not renovations, the unsexy stuff, water heaters, roof patches, pest control. Fourth, homeowners insurance. And fifth, the massive transaction costs of buying and selling, which can eat up to 10% of the asset's value. When you add all of this up, interest, taxes, maintenance, insurance, fees, you often find that the unrecoverable cost of owning a home is nearly identical or even higher than the cost of renting a similar property. You aren't building wealth, you are just paying a different landlord, one made up of the bank, the state, and the hardware store. The math usually comes down to one critical number, the price-to-rent ratio. This is the PE ratio of the housing market. You calculate it by taking the price of a home and dividing it by the annual cost to rent a similar home. A $500,000 house renting for $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year, gives you a ratio of 20. Historically, below 15 favors buying, above 20 favors renting. In cities like Toronto, San Francisco, New York, Sydney, ratios are pushing 25, 30, or higher. When the ratio is that high, the math screams at you to rent. Why? Because the cost of capital on that massive purchase price far exceeds the cost of rent. By renting, you are effectively shorting the housing market. You are living in a $1 million asset for a fraction of what it would cost to finance it. You let the landlord take the risk, the broken boiler, the cracked foundation, the market crash. You consume housing at a discount while the owner speculates on appreciation that may or may not happen. But the most dangerous trap of homeownership is the opportunity cost of the down payment, the invisible wealth killer nobody talks about at dinner parties. That $100,000 down payment, 20%, is now locked in a wall. Dead equity. No cash flow, no flexibility, no rebalancing. Trapped. That same money in the S&P 500, historically returning 10%, doubles roughly every 7 years. By locking it into a house, you're betting your local real estate market will outperform the global stock market. Historically, it doesn't. Renting and investing the difference creates liquidity, diversity, and higher expected returns. It turns house-rich, cash-poor prisoners into liquid millionaires. Your house is an anchor. Renting is optionality. And in a volatile world, optionality has value. Buying can make sense sometimes, but buying out of fear, out of pressure, out of shame, that's how people get stuck. Run the numbers, check the ratio, respect the unrecoverable costs. If the math says rent, rent with pride. Invest the difference, build your liquid empire, and let the landlord worry about the roof. Hit like if this video made you rethink the American dream. Follow USD FinPath for more ways to hack the system, ignore the pressure, and build wealth on your own terms.